Even though the United States of America became an independent nation after 1776 and was officially recognized in 1783, the story of this land reaches much further back in time. Thousands of years before independence, the first people had already made their home across the American continent. We don't know exactly how the Native Americans first arrived here, but one leading theory suggests that people migrated from Eurasia some 30,000 years ago, crossing a land bridge called Beringia. This icy bridge once connected Siberia to North America during the Ice Age. That migration likely continued until around 10,000 years ago, when the glaciers melted, sea levels rose, and the bridge disappeared beneath the ocean. The earliest known inhabitants, the Paleo-Americans, spread deeper into the Americas, forming tribes and notions, each with their own unique culture and identity. Far across the Pacific, another part of today's United States has its own unique beginning. Hawaii remained uninhabited until Polynesian voyagers arrived between the 1st and 10th centuries AD, bringing with them rich traditions and new ways of life. By the 15th century, the world was changing. In 1492, a Spanish expedition led by Christopher Columbus set sail westward in search of a new trade route to Asia, but instead he reached what Europeans would soon call the New World. Soon after, more ships followed. The Spanish built a vast empire, using islands like Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Hispaniola as strategic bases. France founded colonies in eastern North America and parts of the Caribbean, while Portugal expanded its rule over Brazil. Meanwhile, along the Atlantic coast, the English began establishing colonies during the 17th century, joined by smaller groups of Dutch and Swedes. The first successful English settlement, Jamestown, Virginia, was founded in 1607 on the James River. Within decades, agriculture and trade were booming. Despite occasional conflicts with native tribes, the colonies grew fast.
Each of the 13 colonies developed its own local government, but all were ultimately ruled by governors appointed from London. By the 1700s, the population was rising rapidly, thanks to plentiful land, food, and opportunity. Large plantations in the South relied on enslaved Africans for labor, and by the 1770s, enslaved people made up about 1/5 of the colonial population. At first, few imagined independence. The colonies depended on British protection against other European powers. But after Britain's costly victory in the French and Indian War, the empire needed money. In 1765, Parliament passed the Stamp Act, taxing the colonies without their consent. The colonists cried out, "No taxation without representation." Tensions rose sharply. In 1773, the Boston Tea Party became a dramatic act of protest. Britain struck back with the Coercive Acts, placing Massachusetts under direct military rule. The outrage united the colonies, leading to the First Continental Congress and soon after the Second Congress, which organized armed resistance. By 1776, the colonies took a bold step, declaring independence as the United States of America. The Revolutionary War had already begun. After the victory at Saratoga in 1777, France joined as an ally, followed by Spain and the Netherlands. Under General George Washington's leadership, the Continental Army grew stronger, more disciplined, and more determined. The war ended in triumph. At the Treaty of Paris in 1783, Britain recognized American independence. The new nation gained vast lands to the west, opening the path to expansion. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson completed the Louisiana Purchase, buying an enormous territory from France for $15 million, doubling the nation's size overnight. Soon after, Texas joined the Union, and victories in the Mexican-American War brought even more land under U.S. control.
But unity was fragile. When Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860, Southern states seceded to protect slavery. The Civil War began in 1861 after Confederate forces attacked Fort Sumter in South Carolina. After 4 long and brutal years, the Union prevailed. Slavery was abolished, and the nation was restored, forever changed. The late 1800s saw rapid industrial growth, new factories, railroads, and inventions transforming America into an economic powerhouse. In 1898, the Spanish-American War brought swift victories and new territories: the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Guam. At the dawn of the 20th century, the United States stepped onto the global stage. It entered World War I in 1917 after years of neutrality, helping the Allies secure victory. But soon after, prosperity gave way to hardship. The Great Depression of 1929 shook the world. When World War II erupted, America again tried to stay neutral until December 7, 1941, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. The U.S. entered the war, fighting across Europe and the Pacific. In 1945, Germany surrendered in May, and Japan followed in September, after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The war left 2 superpowers standing: the United States and the Soviet Union. Their rivalry defined a new era, the Cold War. It was a global struggle, fought not just with weapons, but with ideology, technology, and influence. The U.S. sought to contain communism, leading to conflicts like Korea and Vietnam. At home, the 1960s brought a powerful wave of change: the Civil Rights Movement, demanding equality and justice for all Americans. By the late 1970s, the Cold War ended as the Soviet Union collapsed. The U.S. stood as the world's leading power, but new challenges awaited. The September 11th attacks in 2001 shocked the nation, leading to wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Then came the 2008 financial crisis, the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. And yet, through war, struggle, and innovation, the American story continues. A story built on courage, conflict, and an endless pursuit of freedom.